Okay. So we're going to get started. I thank everyone for joining us today, whether you're joining us live or whether you are watching a recording of this later on. I do want to say that because we weren't sure how many people we were going to get on this call, the students who are on the call or parents who are on the call, you are only able to watch. So we would still like to field your questions if you have questions throughout. I know some of you have already submitted questions through the Google Doc that I sent, but feel free to shoot me an email and I'll try and monitor that during the course of the presentation so that I can answer those at the end. With us today, we have myself. If there's any parents out there I've not gotten to meet, Ed Roth, principal of the high school. We also have Dr. Carla Queenan, who is the principal of the Roosevelt campus of the high school, Mr. Dormer, our superintendent, Dr. Williams, our assistant superintendent, Mr. Brenner, who is our assistant principal for the senior class, Ms. Mitchell from our College and Career Center, Mr. Schmalbach from the library, and I believe we also have Ms. Gallagher and Ms. Hall from Gear Up joining us live today. So we're going to get started. I'm going to hand it off to everyone else shortly, but as we get started, the first thing that I want to say to all of our seniors is I just want to let you know that I can't quite say that I know what it's like to be in your shoes, but I know that there is a lot of anxiety about this being the way that your high school experience is going to wrap up. I don't know if you got a chance to see it yet. About a half hour ago, I pushed a letter out to you that was intended to follow up on Mr. Dormer's email from the other day. It is 100% true that the most enjoyable hour of my professional life every year is when I get to stand on stage, look out at this beautiful sea of people that are about to become alumni, and then shake your hand as you become a graduate, as you transition from being a high school student to a Norristown area high school alum. And I can only imagine how you feel because I know that it breaks my heart that I won't get to have that moment this year. And it's a moment that I get to have every year. This is a moment that you've been looking forward to for 18 years, that your family's been looking forward to for 18 years. And I know that it feels like we should have all the answers right now because I know that it feels like the school year is over in many respects. In a normal April, you would be asking very few questions about graduation. You would ask what time it starts, you'd confirm the date, and then you would find a number of different ways to ask the same question, which is, how do I get extra tickets? And hope that you find the right person who will give you extra tickets. And I won't lie, in a normal year, eventually that question gets old. But right now, I wish that I was answering that. But since we're not in a regular year and since we are largely stuck in our homes, we still have schoolwork going on, but it also kind of feels like the year's over, right? If we're being honest. And we are watching on TV and on social media as other places are having graduation ceremonies. And mind you, many of those places, their school year ends earlier than ours anyway. Especially Southern schools, they begin wrapping up sooner rather than later. So we're seeing all kinds of creative things. And if there's one thing we know about social media, it's that people take the 30 seconds of any experience that looks perfect and they put it out there, and it puts pressure on the rest of us to feel like we can match that moment. And we feel that pressure. There is nothing more important to me, and I know I'm not alone in this, than getting this right for you. Planning graduation is something that we put a lot of time and effort into every single year, even though we are typically taking what we did the year before and the year before that and the 140 years before that and duplicating it. And this year, we're kind of starting from scratch. And we are trying to figure out how to do this when we don't know what we're going to be allowed to do. We don't know how the coronavirus situation is going to change over the next 7 weeks. And I know that 7 weeks doesn't sound like a long time, but think back to February. Think back to when everything seemed normal in this world. That's about the amount of time that we have to get this graduation right. And I don't want to rush and give you answers if I don't know them to be true. And I don't want to rush and give you answers that we then have to backtrack from. I've talked to some people who've done that and they regret it. And we want to be upfront and honest with you all throughout this process. And there are some things that we can tell you as a given. Yes, I really thought that we would be able to get together in August for a more traditional graduation and a prom. And I'm still hoping to be able to hold that prom. Your venue is booked for August 8th. And I'm still hoping that we can get together as a family in August. I also know that as guidance keeps coming in from local officials, from county officials, from state officials, it's not making me as optimistic as I once was, that we're going to be able to have that large scale celebration in the middle of the summer. And so for that reason, it puts all that much pressure on us to make sure that the actual graduation in June is an experience that you deserve. And it doesn't mean that we won't follow up later, but it does mean that we are going to try to get every single detail right. We will continue to take your feedback, your input. You guys have given some great suggestions, whether it be through email or through social media, through phone calls, you name it. And we appreciate it. And we want you to keep that coming. I know that we have a lot of parents who are working very hard to try to find a way to make this right, not just for your kids, but for all the kids. And I really appreciate and applaud that effort. I really, really do. And I feel your pain that we're all doing this in our homes without the ability to sit around a table, talk to each other, look at each other while we're doing it. Sometimes it leads to some misunderstandings, but that's okay. Because in the long run, I know that we're working with 400 students and 400 families and about 150 staff members who want nothing more than for the end of your high school experience to be perfect. And somehow, some way, we're going to do that. So I want to reference you to the letter that I sent out today. We are going to have a commencement in June. I can't tell you exactly what that's going to look like yet. I can tell you that we're working on a number of contingency plans. And I also know that while virtual options are out there, we don't want to have a purely virtual option if we can help it. And so we're coming up with a number of different ideas. We're going to flush out all the details. And sooner rather than later, I want to be able to bring them to you. But I also want to be able to bring them to you knowing that they are realistic possibilities. And it's going to take us having a little time to see how the situation unfolds before we know what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do. With that, a reminder that if you have questions, feel free, shoot me an email. I'll monitor that during the course of this presentation. There's a lot of stuff here. Some of it has to do with graduation. Some of it has to do with academics. Some of it has to do with college, yearbook, you name it. Check out the whole thing. You don't want to miss it, and I'll answer your questions at the end. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my great teammate, the principal of the Roosevelt campus of the Norristown Area High School, Dr. Queenan.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. Good afternoon, class of 2020. As Mr. Roth shared, my name is Dr. Queenan, and I am also a proud graduate of the Norristown Area High School, NASD proud. Seniors, as you move closer and closer to the end of your high school journey, I want to share a quote by Confucius with you that reminds me of the theme of today's assembly, Finish Strong. The will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential. These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Now I would like to turn the assembly over to our superintendent of the Norristown Area School District, Mr. Dormer.
Thank you, Dr. Queen, and good afternoon, members of our class of 2020 and our senior class. And let me just start by saying that on behalf of the school board, myself as superintendent, Dr. Williams, our assistant superintendent, our cabinet, every administrator, every teacher, every staff member, our hearts are with you. Our thoughts are constantly with the members of this senior class. This is not what we wanted for any of you. This is something that, I'm getting ready to finish. I think this is my 25th year in public education. And conversations I have with my colleagues, I've had with our team is, This is like nothing I've ever experienced in my 25 years in public ed. And I hope this is something that we never have to go through again. It truly is unprecedented what they're asking us to do, what they're asking us to react to. And we recognize, and I want you to hear from me, it's real easy to sit back and say, well, here's a distance learning plan and here's what school's going to look like. But here in Norristown, as you know, we're about people, we're about family, we're about taking care of each other. And we have not lost sight for 1 second the impact that this has on individuals, you as seniors, what it means to you, that you've invested 13 years of your lives starting in kindergarten. To come to the finish line should be a celebration. And it's going to be a celebration. But as Mr. Roth said, unfortunately, it needs to look a little bit different than what we're used to doing. I wanted you to hear from me that we are committed to making this as special and as personal as we can for every single member of the class of 2020. I think, Mr. Roth, Dr. Queenan would tell you, Dr. Williams is going to talk briefly. I'm on calls with county officials probably 4 to 5 times a week. I have a standing call with the State Department of Education and leaders in Harrisburg. We backed it down. It was 5 days a week. We're down to 3 times a week. What I can tell you is the reason you haven't heard from us isn't because we don't know what we're doing. It's because I can honestly tell you, since this started 5 weeks ago, what we're being told and what we're being asked to do changes literally on a daily basis. And sometimes, and I think, you talk to anyone on the administrative team would tell you, there are times we get updates that changes things 2 and 3 times in a single day. It's made it exceedingly difficult to try to plan forward. And certainly with something as important as high school graduation, I think the worst thing we could do with you guys is to promise something to then to have to come back and change that message over and over and over again. So it's not that we haven't wanted to share things with you. It's we've been very cautious, as Mr. Roth said. We want to be able to communicate clearly with you what we are able to honestly and truly deliver on. And we are committing to you as seniors, as members of this community, to your families, that we are going to make this as personal and as authentic and as relational as possible. One thing we know is our traditional graduation ceremony is over. Montgomery County, the Department of Health, has banned large group gatherings through the end of June. So our ceremony, as it has always happened, can't happen. But there's a lot of things in between that, where we have 2,200 people in our auditorium, and a truly remote ceremony. There's a lot of things in between that we can do and that we will do, and that we will come up with ways that we can do so that you and your families can enjoy it, so that you can enjoy it with all of the educators that have helped you along your way. But we also do so that we're keeping people safe and healthy, and we're being responsible with what we're doing. We're going to commit to you to get that news to you as soon as we can. But like I said, you have my commitment as superintendent and that of the school board, who I'm talking with constantly. This will be special, it will be memorable, and we're going to make sure that this is as personal and as in person and as memorable as we can make it for each and every one of you. Thank you. Please keep the faith. Please keep yourselves healthy. Please stay in contact with your administration. Just because we're not seeing each other every day doesn't mean we're not here for you. Be well, and we will see you in person as soon as we can. And with that, I'm very proud to turn it over to Dr. Williams, our Assistant Superintendent of Schools. Dr. Williams.
Thank you. Hello, class of 2020. I wanted to personally congratulate you on getting this far, and I encourage you to continue to work hard. And I personally, from my heart, I recognize that it's hard right now to miss out on certain things that you would expect during your senior year. I know people are posting their senior photos on social media, but that's just not the same. And as a student who had missed out on opportunities myself, not necessarily my senior commencement, but other opportunities. So I made it a point in life that when missed opportunities came about that were out of my control and things that I did not plan for, I made it a point to make it happen for myself in life. I don't know why I'm getting so passionate about this, but I feel you. I empathize with you because this is a major time during your life. So my advice to you, one, remain hopeful, because we are going to do our best to make it memorable for you. It is not going to be the same, and we're not going to pretend that it will be the same. But our priority is your safety and health and the public health of everyone. But I really, really encourage you to stay connected to your friends, because those are the memories that last a lifetime. The friendships that you've made, the connections that you've made, that will be with you forever. The memories you've made K through 12. And I guarantee you this, you have not seen anything yet, because what you're going to encounter when you begin your careers and your life in college will supersede everything that you've ever experienced. When you begin to have families of your own, you have not begun to live the life that you are entitled to. So stay hopeful, stay focused on your goals, your next steps, and allow the adults to work out the details and make it as memorable as possible for you. So remain encouraged and take this time to be innovative as well. Some of you are going to come out of this, you're going to have ideas as scientists, you're going to have ideas for the medical field, you're going to become entrepreneurs in a different way. You're going to change the blueprint of what's going on in our nation. So again, remain hopeful, and we're going to work it out for you and make it as memorable as possible. And continue to embrace those relationships that mean so much to us in life. Mr. Brenner.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Hello, everybody. I truly do miss you. I miss my B-Lunch crowd. I miss seeing you guys in the hallway. Miss all of you. Hopefully you are well and doing well. Let's go over a couple things. I don't have to tell you about March 12th. I don't have to tell you about the announcements at the end of the day, how we told you there will be no school on the 13th. And so it changed our lives, and we made history. So moving on, so what, now what? So schools, businesses, the country pretty much shut down. COVID-19 just died. You all know this. So we are now doing distance learning. We are doing online instruction. This is how we are going to finish out the school year. Not what we wanted, but this is how we're going to do it. So with that being said, we are here. We are here to support you. We are here to support you academically, socially, emotionally. Whatever you need from us, we are here for you. Whether you email your teachers, whether you email us, whether you email each other, we are here. So please take advantage of this. Use your counselors. Reach out to us. So let's talk about academics, because as Mr. Roth said, we are not done. Okay. So May 1st is the deadline for making up any third marking period work. So make sure of that. The 7th and 8th of May are going to be make-up work days for the fourth marking period. Mid-marks are coming out May 8th. Guys, this is a chance for you that if you were iffy, if you were on the border, you can really finish strong. So we're encouraging you to do that. Make an effort, do the work. You end up with 100 in the fourth marking period. It's that simple, okay? Yes, AP will still go on. There are still AP tests. Please check with your teachers about the dates if you are unsure, or email me. But we are still going on with academics. So here's how it's going to work. Teachers are going to post 2 lessons, 5 assignments on Schoology. Some might be a week assignment. Some might be 5 separate assignments. Again, you give your best effort, complete the work, you earn 100%. Take advantage of that, please. Here's how your grade calculations are going to work, because there will be no final exams. What? No final exams? I didn't hear you. There we go. Okay. So marking period 1 is going to be 22%. Every marking period is 22%. Your midterm counts as 12%. If you get 100% in the 4th marking period, you should be good to go. Take advantage of this, guys. So if you're having problems with technology, please look at this information. The help desk, it's available in your class link. It's also, you can call. They're open from 8 to 4. These guys are the best. English, Spanish, whatever you need, they are there to help you so that you can get your technology squared away and not have any problems with that. Graduation, you heard about it. We're all working together. We will figure out how to celebrate you. We will celebrate you. It will be special. We will make it special. Under the circumstances, it will be the best. All right, Miss Mitchell, you want to talk about some updates from the college career? You're on.
All right. So, guys, just want to let you know that I sent a link, Mr. Roth sent it in his daily email this morning. And so I have a link in there that has all college and career updates in one place so that you don't have to look on Schoology, look on Instagram, look in all these different places. And so that link will update daily and it's in Google Drive. Only students or employees of Norristown can access that. So if for some reason your parent or guardian will not be able to access that, but if they email me, I will cut and paste it and drop it in an email to them so that they can know what's going on. Okay. As you guys know, that May 1st is the deadline for any students that are planning on depositing at a college, but many colleges have pushed their deadlines back to June 1st. So on that document that I did send you guys, there are 2 links there for websites that you can go to see if colleges have updated that information. If they haven't updated the information, then it doesn't mean that they didn't. Just go on the website to check. And also email the representative that you've been speaking with via email. If you are having a problem making your deposit by either date, please contact your counselor because we do have some resources to either waive your deposit fees or reduce your deposit. So make sure that you keep in contact with us. Colleges are still offering virtual tours and virtual acceptance student days. So you guys want to make sure that you are checking your email because as you know, we can't visit these colleges, but I've watched a number of them and some of them are very good and they have question and answer sessions. So right now the college admissions officers are pretty much available to you guys to answer any questions that you have. Mrs. Gallagher and I are also available to help you guys do your FAFSA. If you have not finished your FAFSA and your FIA applications, you have to finish those if you want money from the federal government. So we're available also if you are applying to Montco. I'm still trying to find that information. They have some time available to help students. And I just got an email yesterday from FIA. They will also have office hours every day to help students get the FAFSA done. So you guys have plenty of support with that. Mr. Brenner and I are going to be sending you something sometime next week, a senior survey that we normally give to the students so that we can collect some information from you. That information will be how much scholarships you have, what are your plans for next year, colleges you're accepted to and not, et cetera, et cetera. So please make sure you pay attention to that because we need that information, especially if you need a transcript sent to your colleges. Let's see here. Also, starting on Monday, we have a virtual conference. It's called Quarantine Chats. It will be every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the remainder of the school year. So on Mondays, we have Money Grab Mondays. We're going to have some financial aid expert speakers coming to talk to you guys about FAFSA and scholarships. On Wednesdays, it's called Work and Career Wednesday. We will have someone from Montco Works, UTI, a whole bunch of different programs to talk to you guys about post-secondary options if you're not looking at college plans. And then on Thursday, haven't figured out what we're calling that yet, but it will be college planning for juniors. And we have various college admissions officers that will be coming to do those presentations for you guys. So I'll start putting up an advertisement today, but your full advertisement will be up on Monday. You can register for that. The last 2 things is Colleges are still accepting applications. So if you have decided that you want to apply to some places and you have not, you can still do that. Go to the websites and see if they're still open. And many of those colleges now are waiving SAT and SAT scores. So you want to check into that. And lastly, the Gear Up program is also available for tutoring. You can email Dr. B or Miss Joy if you have any questions about that. So I see Miss Gallagher here. Is there anything that I left out, Miss Gallagher?
Well, I'll just add that on behalf of Gear Up and Ms. Hall, and myself, Ms. G, as you guys call her, we do miss seeing you guys every day. And I know Ms. Mitchell's doing a great job leading us all through a difficult time. So just as she said, don't hesitate to reach out to Gear Up for tutoring, financial aid, whatever it might be. We're with you guys in spirit. And also, I would just say, Miss G, Ms. Hall, who is on maternity leave, she is posting. We do want to celebrate you guys. So please send your graduation photo and your college acceptances to her, but she'd love to include you in just celebrating the senior class. So thank you.
And Mr. Brennan, before we switch back, also, Mrs. Gallagher and Ms. Hall and I also have been helping students review their financial aid packages. So if you want to email us that information, make an appointment, we can help you guys with that. And students that do not have any graduation plans, also reach out to us. We're sitting down with students, kind of sorting out some things for you too as well. All right, so miss you guys so much and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Miss Mitchell. Thanks, Miss Gallagher. Mr. Smallbach.
All right.
You're on.
Thank you, Mr. Brenner. One of the things that I always talk about at this senior meeting is about the yearbook. So the class of 2020 yearbook was a tough one to put together, but it is done. It is at the printers. It is on schedule and will be here by June, as it usually is. How we're going to distribute it remains to be seen, but we want to make sure that everyone who wants one to have a memory of this year, of the weirdness of this year. There's a bit of information and spread about the situation we found ourselves in. If you want to get that, Mr. Roth has been putting the link in his morning email. It is also on the high school website, off the district website. Make sure that you get in there and get that ordered. We set a deadline of today to purchase. We'd really like people to get that purchase done today if possible. But if you can't buy it today, you can email me or Mr. Roth, and we will put that in our tally because we still have to tell the company how many to produce. And since we won't be able to do in-person sales at Spice Day this year, we really need to make sure that people who want one get one purchased. So again, look at his email, go to the district website, and get that purchase. We've already seen an uptick of about 40 books in the last couple of days, so that's really good. The second thing is a housekeeping issue. Somewhere in your house or hidden in your now very cold locker, there are probably books or materials that are owed back to the school. And again, we are dealing with this and some things are unfolding. We don't know yet how we will collect them or when that will be. So you need to listen for that. But what I am going to do is send an email of items that are out on your library account. That email will come to your school email. And this is what you need to do. You need to look at the email, look at the items there, and try and figure out where those things are. If they're in your house, make a note of that. If you think they're in your locker, make a note of that. If you're not sure about something that's on there, send me an email and I will look at it and see what we can figure out. This will, be a more difficult process than normal, but we will get through it and we will figure out and get everyone squared so you're good to go by the time whatever our graduation in June looks like happens. So be on the lookout for that email. I also will be sending out a very brief form for some information. We will be doing our senior awards program, and the senior awards selection committee needs to have some information. That information helps us to determine who will get particular awards or scholarships. Some of them have to go to students that are going into specific fields or have specific grades or interests or things like that. So it is a brief survey, information survey for us to help us make decisions as we go forward with planning the senior awards program that'll happen in some form at the end of the year. The last thing I always end my little presentation with is a congratulations from an alum to soon-to-be alums. I graduated in 1995, the 133rd graduating class. You guys are the 158th graduating class. And know this, our first class graduated in the middle of the Civil War in 1862. We've survived 2 world wars, the flu pandemic of 1918, the Great Depression. This school has always been there through all these things. You are taking your place in that line of history, and you have some history in that line. It'll be a very memorable year in the years that this school has existed. So continue to stay strong. Make sure you get that work done. And on behalf of all the alums through all the years of Norristown, congratulations to you seniors. Now back to Mr. Brenner.
Thank you, Mr. Smallbach. Thanks for all that information. Guys, again, we miss you. We really do. We really do. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Dunstan because she can do this much better than I can. Take it away, Miss Dunstan.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, class of 2020. I just want to leave you with some food for thought, and it's a poem by Joyce Alcantara. The title is, You Will Never See Me Fall. You may see me struggle, but you won't see me fall. Regardless if I'm weak or not, I'm going to stand tall. Everyone says life is easy, but truly living, it is not. Times get hard, people struggle, and constantly get put on the spot. I'm going to wear the biggest smile, even though I want to cry. I'm going to fight to live, even though I'm destined to die. And even though it's hard, and I may struggle through it all, you may never see me fall. Eagles are strong, eagles are bold, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Miss Dunstan. Again, guys, we will celebrate you. We miss you. Be safe. Be well. Mr. Roth, I'm going to turn it back to you for your questions. It was great to see you guys. See you soon.
I'll tell you what, you guys are a tough act to follow, especially Miss Dunstan. So only a couple questions so far. If you have any more, please. You guys have been great. Shoot me an email, reach out on social media. So someone asked about the senior clothing sale and if you can still buy that. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you and tell you I don't know the answer to that, but I will get an answer and we'll get that out unless someone else on the call knows. But if not, I will get that answer out to you hopefully in my morning email tomorrow. Caps and gowns have been purchased. They will be here in time for graduation, just like normal. How we're going to get them to you, we don't know that just yet. But you are going to get a cap and gown, and you're going to look fantastic putting that cap and gown on. I know a lot of you have materials in the building still. Some of the things that you have to turn in are in the building, so you can't get them to turn them in. We are aware of that, and we're working with Mr. Dormer and Dr. Williams and Mr. Malkowski and the team in admin to see how we can get you connected with those things. And also, one last thing, your senior English teachers are going to be reaching out to you so that they can make sure that we have your correct address. We know that some of you, whether it's because of things that have happened recently or just where you're staying right now, or maybe you moved 3 years ago and we just don't have your right address, but we want to have some stuff delivered to you. We've got these signs that are being printed up as we speak so that you and the community can celebrate your accomplishments. We want to make sure we get it to the right address. So your English teachers are going to reach out asking you where you are at this current moment. Just tell us where you are. It's not a gotcha in any way, shape, or form. We just want to make sure that you get what we're sending to you. Like everybody else said, I miss you terribly. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope that you know that we will literally do anything to help you. So just reach out. Miss Hall just chimed in saying that they're working on a website for the students to still buy senior apparel. So as soon as they hear from the vendor, they'll get that out. So you will still be able to buy your senior gear. And everything will ship right to your homes. I mean, you really can't ask for much more than that. So I thank everyone who took part in this call today. Please reach out with your questions. Please keep yourselves safe, your family safe, and know that you are missed and you are loved. And we will see you sooner rather than later, we hope. Take care, guys.